to be in a room of designers? We're like a different breed of human, aren't we? Yes. We just see the world differently. Yes. Okay, so check this out. I want to tell you a story about when I had my third ever potential client meeting. Now, this meeting was on Fisher Island. Now, for those of you that don't live in Miami, Fisher Island is one of Miami's most expensive real estate. To give you a little bit of a perspective, Oprah Winfrey herself literally had property on this island at the time that I went to this potential client meeting. So, if I tell you, I really wanted this project, So I went to the meeting. I showed up in all my glory. I gave it my all, and at the end of the meeting, I was like, thank you, I'm gonna send you a proposal. I went back to my office, my dining room table. Hashtag work from home, can I get an amen? Thank you. And I spent 4 hours writing the proposal. Have you been there? Yes. And then you read it, and then you rewrite it. And then you agonize. I agonized over the price. Because if you come in too low, you're gonna not look like you know what you're doing. Yeah. But if you come in too high, then you're gonna be too expensive and they're not gonna hire you. Yeah. At least that's what I was feeling. Anyway, guess what happened? I did not get the project. Wah. I know, it's very sad. But here's the thing, that actually made me sort of think about why a lot. And now, 12 years later, I can look back on that, and I know why. Do you want to know why? Yes. I lacked clarity. I lacked confidence, and I had no idea about the cash. I just didn't understand it. Pricing, had no idea. So what that did in me was make me want to figure out those three things. I wanted to have confidence. Do you? Yeah. I wanted to have clarity. Do you? Yes. I wanted to have cash. Do you? Yes. Spoiler alert, now I do. You may have noticed my Gucci shoes, no big deal. So what I did, how I started on that journey to figure that out, was I went to my current clients and I asked them. And I was like, hey, why'd you hire me? And what do you think is so valuable about me? Now, you know what they did not say? They did not say, thank you, say what? They did not say, oh, it's because you're able to get a sofa delivered to my house. You know what else they did not say? What? They did not say, oh, it's because you have a master's degree from a really cool university in design, and you wrote a thesis, and they did not say that either. You know what else they did not say? Say what? What? They did not say, oh, it's because you're a full-service designer. Oh. I think I see some people cringing in here, yeah. Here's the interesting thing, really shocking to me. You know what they did say? Almost unanimously, they said, you just have this unique way of pulling the me out of me and designing a house that's really me. And the most common compliment that they would receive was their friends would come over and say, this house feels so you. Now here's what I realized what was happening. I was doing this sort of naturally. I wasn't doing it on purpose. Now I saw that there was an opportunity to do it on purpose. And so I started to. And I crafted messaging, and I crafted a signature system, and I call it Biographical Design. Biographical design is my design philosophy, wherein I use a person's biography as the foundation of the design of every room that I do. I know, it's so yummy. And what's happening is that my work is becoming less about trends and more about enriching the client that I work with. Now, let me give you an example of this. I had a client, Daniel, who came to me, and I'm doing the whole $1 million house, but one of the rooms I was doing was the kitchen. And when we were talking about the kitchen, he said that he wanted white cabinets and white subway tile backsplash. Does anybody watch HGTV? Okay. So what I know is that when someone comes to me and asks for this super trendy thing that's trendy right now, I know there's an opportunity to go deeper. Have you seen that? Yeah. So now that I'm purposefully doing biographical design, I actually went to that first meeting, and this is what I always do. I always start with a biographical discovery meeting. In that meeting, I learned that Daniel was a victim of a terrorist attack. I also learned that Daniel loves cooking. And every Friday night, without fail, he cooks a huge gourmet dinner for his family and extended family. Every Friday night. What I know is that when somebody goes through a traumatic event like that, it shapes who they are. What I know of someone who loves cooking is that the kitchen is really the heart of the home. Thank you. It's the heart of the home. And what I know is that when a family comes together around a dinner table, that becomes the heart of the family. And so what I put all that together in my biographical design philosophy, what I knew is that I couldn't give that family a trendy white kitchen. Here's why. Say why. Why? Here's why. I've designed for them kitchen cabinets that had deep, deep blue color. I designed a backsplash that was blue glass. It's very pretty. And when I presented this design to Daniel and his family, I explained to them that blue and the depth in color is evocative of safety. And that blue and the depth in color is evocative of nesting. And what I knew is that if I create the heart of the home that is a reflection of safety and comfort, I knew that those family dinners were going to have a totally different energy than if they had been created in a trendy white kitchen. Are you with me? Yes. Mm-hmm. So I have such a heart to make the design industry one that is less trend-centric and one that is more heart-centered. Now, here's the really interesting thing about having done biographical design for 12 years. I am finding that the philosophy of biographical design is actually cross-contextual. And what I'm finding is that I, on purpose, am now able to design my business in a same biographical philosophy. And so now I have crafted my business to be a point of my self-reflection and a vehicle for me to be fully self-expressed. And guess what's happening? Say what? What? Thank you. I have so much more clarity. I have so much more confidence. And I have so much more cash. Now, and Gucci. And these are not the only ones, okay? We'll talk about that later. So, let me ask you guys a question. Who likes clarity for themselves? Who likes confidence? And who likes? Yeah, I think it's unanimous. So here's the cool thing. I really have a heart to transform this industry, like I said. And I have a heart to do that through you. I have a heart to do that through the designers, by way of journeying alongside them arm in arm to craft biographical businesses for each of you so that your businesses can be a total vehicle of your self-expression so that you can find more clarity, confidence, and cash. If you want that, raise your hand. Okay, here's the challenge with doing this by yourself. Raise your hand if your messaging right now is on the foundation of full-service interior design. Raise your hand. Okay, I want you to look around. Keep your hands up. I want you to look around and see how many hands are raised. Okay, it's all good. Everything is fine. You're beautiful people. It's perfect. And I want to give you an example of a designer that I have been working with in my program, which I call my design family. No. So when this designer came to work with me for the first time, she said that she was a full-service XYZ-based city designer. I know you all understand. And I was like, and that's awesome. And let's do a biographical discovery. And that's the first thing I do with all designers. I understood what that biographical discovery was and found that she is the daughter of a fine artist, and she grew up in art galleries. And she has a really unique way that she sees projects and the way that she approaches design. And that is by way of this fine artist's mind, which is really different from the way I see design, and I'm sure you see design. And so now I have supported her in creating her art method. And so now she goes into clients' homes and she creates their project using her fine art mind and her unique ability to match people with their art and design spaces around that. She calls that her art method. Let me ask you, raise your hand if you have your art method. No? Look around the room, see how many hands are raised. Can you imagine how powerfully she stands out to her clients? Oh, yeah. Now, guess what her first project was. Say what? What? And I'm not making this up, you can ask her. Her first project, when she was purposeful with this message, was a client who is the president of a philanthropic organization that supports emerging artists. No. I'm not making this up. Can you imagine how powerfully she shows up in this project? Wow. Can you imagine how valuable she is to this client? Yes. AKA cash. Can you imagine how much clarity she had when she went to that sales meeting? Can you imagine how much confidence she had to show up in that sales meeting? Yes. So she has now the clarity, the confidence, and the cash because she has crafted her business to be biographical. Now, what I know to be absolutely true is that when we can shift the industry from being trend-centric to heart-centered, we're going to create a world that is more enriched. And here's the thing, that starts with you. So let me ask you one more question. This is my final question, and it's the most important question. And by raise of hand, no, by standing up, you tell me, are you ready? Yes.